We'll start by a quick look at some of the features in WeVideo for School, and then we'll drill deeper into some of those key aspects and differentiators of that ecosystem, including the admin side, classroom management, collaboration through groups and projects, and then we'll touch on some of the advanced editing features that are available in this education version, and finally we'll touch on some of the playing and sharing options that this entire platform provides. And then at the end we'll open this up for questions. So I will share my screen and I will show you the WeVideo for Education platform that I have. Notice that it looks a little different from what you might be used to. It has an admin tab. This is one of the first things that comes into play. But before we dig into that, I wanted to also mention that WeVideo is in the cloud, which is pretty straightforward, and a lot of you know. But what this means is that it gives you a lot of options. So it's accessible from any device, anywhere, regardless whether it's a Chromebook, a Mac computer, a tablet, a mobile application, or any other device that is connected to the internet. And this gives you a variety of different workflows, including uploading media through mobile devices. We even have a Google Drive app, which is another way to access WeVideo, and it's very convenient for a lot of the teachers that use the product. You can simply download the app from the Google Play Store or the Chrome Store, and then you can go to the WeVideo editor, and this is just another way to access the same account. Now, you'll notice that this account is a free account, and WeVideo will open a free account at first, unless you are already connected to an education instance. And you can always recognize a free account by going to Manage Account and seeing that this account is not part of an education instance. So what is that education instance that I keep mentioning? Well, an education account is not an aggregation of multiple accounts. It's actually one massive account, which is sort of a gated community or a walled garden that allows everyone in an education organization, whether it's a single classroom, a school, or an entire district, to be inside that one massive account. And this account is latched onto one email address. Typically that would be the owner, and typically that would be someone on the tech side, but it certainly could be a teacher if it's just a classroom size account. And this owner will then delegate and distribute the additional seats to a lot of students, other teachers, other administrators even, and everyone would be visible and in one place. That gives you an unparalleled ability to visualize learning as it's happening, visualize how videos are being created, and also provide real-time feedback to students, and also gives you the ability to manage your classroom and manage the entire permission set for the entire organization, so everyone is privacy protected and everyone is following whatever guidelines and rules your classroom, your school, or your district have. So let's take a quick look at the admin settings or the admin tab here. You'll notice that you have the ability to manage your members. You have a lot of settings that are going to allow you to mold that environment, and you also have the ability to set up groups for classroom management. So we'll take a quick look at each of these at a time. The first thing I wanted to mention, though, is that in this education environment there are multiple user roles. So it's not just one user accessing the account. You have tiered permissions and progressively more visibility depending on your role in this entire instance. As I mentioned, there's one owner in the organization. You can think of this as the super administrator or the master administrator of the account, the original inaugurator that is eventually going to distribute the seats to other teachers and students. You also have the ability to delegate responsibility for day-to-day management to one or more administrator or admin in the organization. And importantly, you have a teacher-specific role. So the lead role is very distinct from the user role, which is where most students are going to be. And the lead has full visibility into student profiles. So, for example, if Mary is one of the students in the account, the teacher can just double-click on that student profile and see the student's dashboard, including how much time Mary's spending in the editor, including all the videos that Mary has published to date, and most importantly, all the projects that Mary's working on. And it doesn't matter if these projects are collaborative or personal. A teacher can always drill down into a work in progress or in a project created by a student and go into the editor and see the student's particular progress on whatever assignment she's been given. So the lead role has that visibility. The lead role can also see videos that were created by others. So not only their personal videos, but videos that were created by students and other teachers in the organization. And importantly, the lead role can also create groups, which is really essential for classroom management. For the ones of you who already use Google, the Google ecosystem, which I believe is all of you, groups are like classrooms or classes in Google Classroom. So you can have all your students in the same place and manage your classroom from there. The last role in this education account is the user role, and this is what most of your students will have. And this is the role that's closest to whatever you might be used to if you're coming from WeVideo free. To show you this, here's a student view. Notice that there's no admin tab whatsoever. When we go to videos, we can only see our own videos. So very much this role is like an individual contributor, with the exception of the ability to collaborate, which I will highlight a little later. But it's really important to note that students can work with other students, and there are shared projects that every student can participate in. And in that sense, the student could potentially have visibility into edits and finished videos that were created by other students in this walled garden environment or this organization. On the admin side, the second most important thing I wanted to mention is the settings, the ability for administrators to manage that entire account and the environment and decide how much public sharing is allowed and how much privacy or publicity every user type will have. So you have the ability to change the settings for the admin role, lead role, and user role, and you can even create multiple roles within each of these tiers that I just described. So let's say if you have a K-8 site or classroom, and then you have a high school classroom, you can have a different set of permissions for each of these classrooms. So in that sense, the permissions are very moldable, very flexible. Here you see both in terms of import and export destinations, you have the ability to connect your account with multiple locations, but you also have the ability to turn some of these locations off, like Facebook or Instagram, if they're not allowed in your district. Similarly, for export destinations, a lot of districts would use Google Drive, but in a high school environment, maybe YouTube or Vimeo would be allowed, but for a middle school, potentially all of these would have to be turned off. Or if you want to seal the entire account completely for a particular user role and not allow the content for that user to exit that environment, you can completely turn off sharing, in which case none of these options are going to be available, and all the videos that are published inside of WeVideo are going to be published as private videos unless a teacher or an administrator decides that they're safe for public sharing. So with this said, so aside from the admin benefits that this environment gives you, there are a lot of collaborative benefits. And a lot of benefits in terms of teachers being able to put all their students in the same place and visualize them in a single view and interact with students directly in the editor itself or inside this environment. To show you this, I will quickly touch on groups. This is, as I mentioned, like classrooms or classes in Google. and you can always create your group after you've imported your list of users into the organization. You can create a group for each of your classes. Let's say you're a physics teacher and you're teaching physics period A. You can make a selection of your students, and you do this only one time. And this selection will persist. So I already have 2 users selected, and I can use the one of these Command and Control or Shift to make a selection of multiple users. So now I have my classroom or my group set up, and from here I can navigate and visualize my entire classroom. As I mentioned, you can double click on each of these students' profiles and see their dashboards, but also I can see all the projects or assignments that I'm giving to this class in this projects tab. So as soon as these start getting populated, this list will grow here. And similarly, I can see all the videos that my students produced in the same videos tab here inside the group. So this is essential for classroom management. And if you want to give your students an assignment that everyone is going to be working on, you can simply start a group project from here. You can give it a title, an assignment description, and you can choose one of these project types, which is well suited for classroom use, and I'll touch on in just a second. And from here, this project will become visible to you in the Projects tab, and you can simply monitor it by double-clicking on it and going in the project environment. Now, project is a really essential or integral piece of the WeVideo for Education ecosystem, because projects is where collaboration happens. And you can think of projects not so much as the video itself, but as the assignments that you're giving to your students, or the creative space that you're setting up for everyone, so they can all go there and begin working on the same topic together or separately, but still as a group or as a class. So if we go to the projects section, you will see that you have the ability to set up folders for each of your classes, so that's another way to organize your work environment better. And you will see that all your projects are going to live in My Projects, and all the projects that you're not the owner of, that you are just invited to, are going to be in your Shared With Me section. So here, imagining that you are teaching history in this case, you know, I've set up 2 different folders for the different classes that I purportedly teach. And if I go inside of these folders, I have a list of projects that I've given as the semester has gone along. I can sort by date created to put my latest assignment on top, and from the plus sign on the bottom, I can create a new project to give to my class. So let's say this is the Civil Rights Movement, which is the next unit I want to teach in history. I can use the description space to describe the assignment, and this can be optional. So a lot of you may be using Google Classroom, and you are already used to a similar workflow. You can simply copy and paste part or all of the assignment description to make it visible for your students. Now, the most essential piece is the choice of project type. Personal is one creator doing videos, so it's similar to what you'll see in WeVideo Free, but it's not very well suited for the classroom because you lose the ability to visualize the learning as it's happening, or the video creation as it's happening. So personal projects are typically good for flipped classroom podcasts if you're doing some of your own videos, or if you're doing professional development videos. But for classroom use, we highly recommend either collaborative or shared project types. Collaborative means that all your students are going to be in the same space and are going to see everything that everyone is doing. They have full visibility into that, and they can edit videos together as a team. And obviously, you can have one or more edits inside of this space. But the key takeaway is that all the students can see everything, and they can access all the work that others are doing. On the other hand, you have the shared project type. From your perspective, meaning you, the teacher, everyone is still in the same space and you can interact one-on-one with them. But from the student's point of view, each of them is an individual contributor. So they do not see each other's timelines. And they can do work on their own and then deliver the final video to the project creator, which is who's the teacher again. So let's say we want to collaborate. The next step is to select one of the groups that we've already created. And by the way, with the invite with link option, you can very easily share this project in Google Classroom with whatever assignment you're doing. But if you have a group already created here, you can simply select this group from your list. Let's say this is a history class. And the final step is the opportunity for you to share some content that is related to this assignment with your students. In this case, it's a history assignment, so you can select some history photos and videos, and you're finished. So now you have your last project on top. You have created a shared space or a collaborative space. And then here you have the assignment description, you have all the edits that the students will be doing, you have all the videos that will be finally published, sort of the outcome of that assignment, you have all the project media that you've shared with your students, and you have the ability to manage your members, so you can always add or remove members from one of these buttons. So I'll make sure that Mary is inside this project. And if I go to Mary's screen, the student, and go to her projects, I can go to Shared with Me. And if I refresh, hopefully I will see the Civil Rights Movement project. Here we go. So now she can create a new edit, and she can begin using immediately the content that I just shared with her. To show you this, let's go into the editor. You will see that she has access not only to her personal media, but also the project media that the teacher just shared, so she can immediately grab this content and begin working on her assignment. And she also has access, because she's part of that education environment, to this shared global folder that the district or the school or the organization has that is shared across the board with every user that has access to the account. So now Mary created a simple video. We can call it Mary's video. The teacher will immediately visualize it in the edit section. So if we go here and refresh, we should be able to see Mary's video. And as your students begin creating, you will see a long list of videos that all the project members in this collaborative environment are going to be building. From here, the teacher has a couple of great options, because again, everyone is in the same environment. One of the options is very similar to what you have in Google Docs, and it's a commenting feature. So let's say the teacher wants to provide some feedback to the student before the work is finished. You can simply use this commenting feature. It's going to give you a marker that you can attach to the timeline or to one of the clips below, and then you can add a comment. You can post these markers. The student will log in, and she can simply hover over the markers and see what the teacher provided in terms of feedback, but also she can double-click and provide a response. So they can have dialogue or conversations around specific choices. This is true not only for teacher-student communication, but also for peer review purposes, or for collaboration between among different students who are working on the same video together. So they could leave comments for each other. The second really great feature here is the revision history. And it's available in the main menu. Go revisions, and you will see all the revisions on this video that have happened in the past. Of course, we just started this video, so there are not a lot of revisions, but ultimately you will see a long list of revisions, and especially for collaborative projects, that's really essential, because you will want to track what each of the different team members or students contributed to this video. So since we're in the editor, I wanted to briefly mention a couple of the premium features that are available in WeVideo for Education or WeVideo for Schools. One of them is the screen capture feature. You can record your screen by simply clicking on Record Screen. You will have to install an extension at first. It's very easy. And then you can record the entire screen very simply by clicking on this button. And this will give you an opportunity to do a screencast, which is really excellent for flipped classroom podcasts or anything of that nature where you want to demonstrate something on the web. And when I stop sharing, this content will become available, and I can save it to my editor. It will become available in just a second, but since we don't have a ton of time, I wanted to go here and use one of the recordings I already have to just demonstrate the ability to use this advanced feature, the screen capture, to create a podcast. And in this case, it's a biology project. It's the life cycle of a butterfly. I already pre-recorded this with the screen capture feature. And one of the other great things you can do with advanced features here is you can do a picture-in-picture video or even a green screen video that would allow you to do a very engaging flipped classroom video for your students. So to demonstrate the green screen feature, which is another premium feature that's available in this education product, I have a pre-recorded green screen footage. And I can click on Edit. I can access the green screen tab here, and I can remove the green in order to show the background image, which is my screencast. And from here, obviously the teacher in this case is covering the entire screen. What I want to do is just make this teacher a little smaller so she's still present, and there's a human touch to the entire podcast, but we want to make her a little less conspicuous, so we're not hiding the content here. And this is just a very simple way to demonstrate how simple and easy it is to create something very engaging for your students. Trust me, students are going to have a ton of fun with green screen too when you if you allow them to use that. So it gives you an almost endless number of possibilities. The editor itself is very robust, and it has a lot of great features. We cover it very heavily in WeVideo Academy, which is wevideo.com/academy. So we have a lot of tutorials, and from my experience, no students and teachers get lost. They simply go there, watch a few tutorials, and it's very intuitive to them to kind of pick up some of the basic and advanced editing skills that they'll need for the classroom. So we're almost running out of time. The last thing I wanted to mention is the ability to curate your videos and store all your videos in one place. When you're done with an edit, you will click on Finish to render that video and really publish it. And you have the ability to export it to some external destinations, as I highlighted earlier. But importantly, all the videos, regardless of what other destinations you put them on, are ultimately going to live in WeVideo. So WeVideo is not only an editor, but it's actually a place where you can store your content that is finished. So when we click on Finish Video, the video will begin rendering, and that's going to take a few minutes. This is an advanced video, so that's probably why this is going to take probably a couple of minutes to render. But when it renders, you can go to your Videos tab, and this is where all your finished content will live. You will be able to see your personal videos, and as a teacher or admin in the organization, you will see all the videos that other creators have produced. And importantly, you have this great feature called Gallery, which is a place to showcase work that you're really proud of. So the gallery contains either individual videos that you can publish to it, or a number of playlists that you can curate as sort of collections or albums of videos that are on the same topic, and you can publish them as a group. I'll show you the live gallery. It looks like this. So you have your videos here and all your playlists in a separate tab. If you make this gallery public, this link can be shared with the external community, and all your parents and community members can watch this content that you've provided here. You can also make the gallery private, so you can have this available internally. And the playlists are going to give you an opportunity. That's probably not the best example. The playlists are going to give you an opportunity to watch videos as a collection. So you can click on the play button, and all the videos are going to play in sequence. So you can sit back, relax, and have a nice screening in class. So
okay, Alphonsus?
Yeah, that's everything I had for the demo portion, but I know there might be some questions. So Greg, go ahead.
Right. The only question I know, because basically we've already hit our hard stop, but just wanted people asking about the iMovie. I'm sorry, the iPad and the Android version on the tablets. Actually, our Android version is ready to go. It's an amazing editor if you have an Android tablet at your school, and the iPad editor is in beta, and so your iPad. A new iOS release is within probably 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks available. So when it comes down to something that you mentioned earlier about any device, especially when schools, elementary schools have tablets available, students can do amazing projects on just the tablets they have. And then if they want to maybe enrich that, they can go to a Chromebook, they can go to a MacBook, and be able to go into the timeline feature. There's so many connections. We've run out of time to talk about them.
Yep.
But please contact us at WeVideo. Contact Greg at WeVideo.com, and we'll be glad to help you.
Absolutely.
Thanks,
awesome.
Wendy.
Thanks so much, Tanis. We have some people watching, so if you have any questions right now, you can email Greg. You can tweet them at WeVideo. You can also you put in a question right now in the Google Plus page if you are watching it there, and we can answer it for you very quickly. Or you can make sure you sign in, and we have a few people still watching right now, so if you want a chance to win the prize, I think you can either go to bit.ly/EdTechTeam sign in, or if you're on the Google Plus page, if you just go ahead and reply, say something in the comment field, we can choose from there as well. So 2 ways to enter today to win your prize from WeVideo, and we hope we see your names there, and we'll pick one from there and email and follow up with the winner later. But thanks so much. We'll have this video posted online shortly, so you can send this or watch it later. And we'll also be mailing this out to our newsletter, so you can watch it and share it with your colleagues. Thanks so much, Altanis, Greg, and the WeVideo team. Really was really interesting to see where WeVideo is headed for classrooms. So very exciting.
Thanks, Wendy.
All right, great. Thank you, everyone.